It's alive! It's alive!
Creepypasta! Creepypasta! Creepypasta!
Didn't work. Let me try. Creepypasta, creepypasta, creepypasta!
Nothing! This book of spells is a hunk of junk!
It's midnight, you guys! It's supposed to be working right now!
If I may, I have a suggestion.
That's him! That's his voice!
Yes, see, you have to say my name correctly. It's creepy pasta, not creepy pasta. There's a space between the words.
So, creepypasta?
Again, there's a space. You have to say it like there's a space between the two words.
Creepypasta!
No,
Creepypasta?
not quite. Again, there's a space between creepy and pasta. It's like a pause.
Creepy space pasta!
You know what? I'm just gonna use the door like I usually do. Really? That worked? I feel like you guys knew I was coming that time. Anyway, I'm here for the third Shocktober in a row. And over the past year, I've been crafting the creepiest tales you've ever posted.
What?
No questions, just listen. This creepypasta is entitled The Slide of No Return. And in case any of you are wondering, yes, it's to die for. Sorry about that. Anyway, Detective Michael McTinyapple had been retired for years after failing to discover where Sandpaper Jackson was buried in 1997. He hung up his shoes for good, or so he thought, because when children began mysteriously disappearing on a slide at the local park, the police knew there was only one person to call. The ex-detective, who was literally the size of a child.
Okay, we get it!
Michael McTinyapple arrived at the park and witnessed it for himself. A young child innocently started sliding at the top of the slide, disappeared into the enclosed tube section, and then never emerged. McTinyapple assumed there must be a clog. One child got stuck, then every other child got stuck too, right? No obstructions, no apparent danger at all. After much thought with his tiny, tiny little brain, McTinyapple decided there was only one thing to do. He would go down the slide himself. He climbed to the top of the slide, which was a large feat for an apple so very tiny.
Go! Knock it up!
And he peered down, knowing this could very well be the end of him. But someone had to figure out what was happening to all those children, and it might as well be him. A washed-up tiny little man who couldn't even figure out where Sandpaper Jackson had been buried. So with one last deep breath, Michael McTinyapple began to slide. The slide was cool and slick against his tiny little buttocks. That is, until it wasn't. Moments after he passed into the tunnel portion of the slide became rough, like sandpaper. McTinyapple looked down and realized that it actually was sandpaper, and the further he slid across it, the more of his body was being sanded away. As he slid further, watching his body disappear before his very eyes, he finally understood what had happened to all those children. They'd been sanded away into dust. And with his final glimpse downward, moments before his eyeballs turned to dust themselves, Michael McTinyapple made another realization. He came to understand, at long last, the exact location of Sandpaper Jackson's final resting place. Inside the tunnel of a slide at the local park.
Everyone stand up! Scary twist endings always make Little Apple piddle himself, so... Hey, wait a second! Where is Little Apple?
Oh, he's probably hiding around here somewhere. You know how tiny people are, am I right?
All right, you are. I wasn't so sure about this guy before, but I'm officially on board.
Oh, excellent. Then perhaps you'll be on board with my next creepypasta. I call it does a tree make a sound. Decades ago, Vincent Perry had murdered his wife and buried her in the yard beneath an oak tree. And he'd gotten away with it, too. Not a soul suspected that he, Vincent Perry, the most boring person in town, could have done such a dastardly deed. Why did he kill his wife, you may ask? Because her voice was incredibly annoying. Seriously, every time she would open her mouth, a noise would come out like... Not quite like that, no. Closer, but no. I mean, it's close, but it's not quite there. There it is! Now then, decades after his wife's tragic passing, Mr. Perry decided he wanted to build a new house. So he chopped down the oak tree in his yard. And much to his surprise, it made a remarkably familiar sound. Precisely. The noise ceased once the tree was felled, and Mr. Perry believed that he had heard the last of that wretched noise. But alas, he had not, because every time he did anything with that tree's wood, the noise would come again when he built a house.
Fresh meat! Long time no brooding silence, my friend! Get over here to the freak shop. We got shit to discuss. Probably. We definitely got drugs, though. Just get over here.
There from the tree, the noise would come. Oh, would you just do the noise? You know very well what noise I'm talking about. Thank you. And after years of this noise, Mr. Perry was finally driven completely mad, and he was carted away to the madhouse. There he was placed in a padded room with metal furniture. There was not a speck of wood to be found anywhere, and Vincent McPerry at long last sighed sweet relief. He was finally free of the wretched noise, or so he thought, because even though the insane asylum staff had thought of nearly everything, they had forgotten to replace the wooden floorboards.
That was great! I think my favorite part was when the wood went Where is everyone?
Oh, yeah, Bear. I believe Bear had to step outside. He had to call his mom. And Sis had to go to Pluto. I hear it's beautiful this time of year.
What? Without me? She knows I've always wanted to go there.
Yes, well, perhaps my final creepypasta will send you to another place. I call this tasty tale Finish Your Food. Prisoner Orange McJumpsuit had been on death row for years, awaiting execution for the terrible, awful, unspeakable crimes he had committed.
Oh, what did he do?
I said they were unspeakable, didn't I? Now, the date of his execution had finally arrived, and the guards informed him that it was time to choose his last meal. Once he had finished his food, he would be escorted to the electric chair. The prisoner asked what was anything he wanted to eat, he could have. So the prisoner thought and thought, and finally answered,
Spaghetti!
What? No, he selected a haunted burrito. That's not how the story goes.
Sure it is. You said he could have anything he wanted, right?
Well, yes, but...
So he chose spaghetti, a big old plate of it. And he started slurping down a really, really long noodle. I'm talking long. It took forever for him to reach the end of that thing. So long, in fact, that all the guards died of old age before he was done. The prison closed, and everyone who remembered he had committed those unspeakable crimes were long gone too. So when the prisoner finally finished, there was nobody left to take him to the electric chair. So instead, he lived happily ever after and took kazoo lessons.
Dude, enough of the kazooing!
Whoa! You guys are back! Back! When did we leave?
We've been here the entire time.
Yeah, ever since midnight of October 31st, 1743! Whoa!